Thank you very much. What an absolute legend. Okay, North Shore tire, hooking it up. It's been probably a year since I've been on the OneWheel. All right, we are on the DJI Action 5 Pro. We are on the OneWheel for the first time in probably, I don't know. I have not ridden this thing in years, and man, does it feel good. It's like exactly what I remember, and I'm riding this thing in loafers. Wonder how the wind's holding up on this thing. We are on the Mic Mini, DJI Mic Mini, and yeah, how's it going? It's been a while since we've had a catch up. So if you watch some of my older vlogs, you would know that I used to rock the OneWheel all the time. Like, I've ridden this thing like crazy. Now, my app did say it has 89% battery. I haven't actually checked, again, I haven't used it for probably over a few years, so I'm assuming the battery is going to be a little bit off on that, but whew. We're just going to take it easy. We're going to roll. This is the life. This is the motion blur life too, because we're on ND32 and I'm able to hold the camera pretty steady because I'm not walking. So we should be getting some pretty sick motion blur here. Speaking of motion blur, I'm going to pick up something right now. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I think I need an extra long selfie stick for this. Sketch. Okay, let's go get this package. Is this a reference number? Thank you. Whew. All right, mission accomplished. All right, Chris, so what's in the box? And stuff. Oh. Boom, boom, boom. The company Freewell reached out to me asking if I wanted to take a look at their ND filters for the Action 5. And of course I said yes for a couple of reasons. One, I actually, surprisingly enough, I get a lot of requests to review things on this channel. And because I've just experienced so much burnout on YouTube in the past, not even being successful, I generally just say no unless it's something that I actually know I can immediately, that's probably going to be something I'm going to like. Do you know what I mean? Like, the idea of getting free gear doesn't really spark an interest for me anymore, because I'm actually trying to have less gear. So when a company like Freewell, who I know very well because I used to use their filters for drones, I have them for my Pocket 3, they make very high quality accessories for action cameras and things like that. When they asked if I wanted to check out their ND filters, I said yes, because obviously, as you know, I love ND filters. These Telesin ones have been great, but they're also limited to 32 ND32. So the pack that I got from Telesin was ND8, ND16, and ND32, whereas this one has an ND64. And it also has, let's open this up, my Leatherman Arc. Love this thing. So very nice, look at that. This is actually a magnetic case. Boop. Boop. Look at that, some other stuff. A little Freewell sticker. This video is not sponsored, by the way, and I did not get paid to make this video. They've actually asked me if I wanted to review stuff in the past, and I've just said no, but this is something, like I said, where it had an ND64. I'm always gonna need more of these because I'm very, very careless with them. Like, there's tons of scratches on these. So here's what we got. This little case is pretty clutch. I've been using the bag from the DJI Mic Mini, but the problem with that is that sometimes with all the accessories in there, it can get a little bit crowded. Like, I'm using more and more for these cameras every day. So having a dedicated case might be good. I'm not sure. You're watching it as I am. So here we go. Boom. And bam, look at those. Those are pretty nice NDs, actually. So for the most part, ND8, ND16, ND32 are going to be more than enough. Like, you're dealing with a 2.8 lens here, but at a shutter speed of a 50th, it requires a lot of cutting out of the light. And I find that I'm constantly riding that, like on a bright sunny day like we are today, we are riding that exposure very close. Curious to see what the ND64 would look like. So let's pop that on and continue the rest of this vlog. Oh, there we go. That was a very tight fit. Like already I can tell these, like this, I'm pretty sure it's made out of metal. This seems a little bit more plasticky. I'm not knocking on these Telesons. They've been fantastic, and I think they're even cheaper price-wise. So I'm not sure what the prices of these. I'll drop it below, and if you want to buy one, of course, links are below. But let's continue this vlog shooting on ND64, and let me know if there's any difference. So funny enough, right when I switch the filters, it's very apparent there is a difference in the color shifting, so to speak. Normally I kind of laugh when people ask me about the color shifting, which you'll see in a second here, because I'm always using the ND filter so I can just correct them to how I want them to look. But as you can see here on the filters themselves, if you look in the reflection, you can see my light. This is the Freewell one right here, and this is the Teleson one. So there's clearly a difference in the way that they're seeing. This one is definitely a little bit warmer, and this is leaning more cool. I personally prefer warmer, but I can also adjust that in post. So I'm gonna do that right now so we can see how they look match. Remember, the biggest difference for me with these filters is not so much does this one perform better than this one, it's really the ND64 versus the ND32, because there are moments throughout the beginning of the video where you can see it's like we're right at the edge of overexposure. It still looks good, but the ND64 is going to allow there to be a little bit more room to lower the highlights because it's cutting out more. It's not relying on the bottom of the ISO. So that's a little bit more advanced, but basically the larger the number, the more light is being cut out. And with ND32, which is pretty good for most situations, it's just sometimes not quite enough. Like if you go back and look, there is some times where my shirt looks a little bit too white or the top of my head looks a little bit blown out. And that's just because we're right at the base ISO. We need a little bit more light cut out, just a little bit. But back to the video. So a lot of people ask me with the Teleson filters, is there any sort of like color shifting that happens when you're using them? And I honestly don't know, because I pretty much exclusively use them. So any colors that are shifting, I'm dealing with as if they're normal, if that makes sense. So maybe if you look now, is there anything different from the image? We are on ND64, which is something we've never used on this channel at all. So we're gonna do a little cruise here. It is like, I think it's about noon. It's 1 o'clock. So we're dealing with the brightest point of the day. From the little display here, like the image does look better, but it might be a placebo effect. I don't know. We're just gonna have some fun now. Probably cruising around the coolest area of North Vancouver on the OneWheel. So I've got no agenda today. So how does the image look? Is there any noticeable difference at all? Now again, like I said, I'm not really looking for an image quality upgrade. I'm looking for a better exposure due to the fact that there's more ND. Like I think Teleson even does make a 64 ND, it just doesn't come in the pack. So you have to buy another ND, which to me is like, at that point, anything you're saving, you're not saving because you have to buy an additional filter. So let's try and get close, see if we can get some motion blur up in here. Yeet! Got just yeeted a starfish in there. Now keep in mind that any improvement with stabilization will 100% be due to the fact that I'm on a floating board right now, not due to the ND filters. We're having a good time, we're having a good time. It's put it into the sky like a tidal wave. Ready, go. Tearing through the sky. 100 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Very High. I wanna speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic man out of you. No problem, no problem. Yeah, good times. I've been having a good time. Don't stop me now. So again, like I always say in a lot of these videos, if you live in a normal, what's up, buddy? It's living the dream. Stop me now. Having such a good time. We're having a ball. So what I was saying is, like, for the most part, unless you live in sunny California or it's super, super sunny where you live, like ND 8, 16, and 32 are gonna be fine. But it's for those like fringe moments where you're in the complete unfiltered sunlight that ND 64 might help a bit. But again, we'll find out. I don't know what these look like yet. I'll jump back into the studio and show you guys the difference between the physical filters of the Telesin ones that I recommend versus these Freewell ones. And then we'll also just, we'll take a look at some footage and see how it looks. So this is the Telesin one and this is the Freewell one. And as you can see, they're slightly different shapes. The Freewell one has a little bit more surface area of glass, and it has a stronger hold when you put it onto the Action 4 or the Action 5. It's also got this, I don't know if you can see, it's really hard to see. Maybe we can get it kind of right there. There's more rubber to grip the edge of the lens cover versus the Telesin one here is just kind of more like big giant teeth. You can kind of see it up here. So this is doing a good job showing the differences in the color of the filters here. I do a lot to manipulate the color, so I'm not imagining there's going to be much of a performance difference between these two in terms of image quality. But when you look at the filters side by side, I gotta say that the Freewell ones are definitely a little bit better built. The case itself it comes with is pretty, like, leaves a little bit to be desired. It's plastic, but at the same time it's thin and it carries your NDs. That's kind of what you want it to do. We'll try this out for a little while, see if I end up liking this more than just using my traditional bag here. But again, because I'm carrying more accessories these days, it makes it a lot harder to take ND filters in and out of this bag. So we're gonna switch to these for a little bit and see if you notice any difference through the long run. But thank you, Freewell, for sending these out. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to trying this and other Freewell products in the future. Let me know what your thoughts are below, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.